episode of Conversation with a Chef. I'm Jo Ritty, and I love sharing with you the conversations I get to have with talented and passionate chefs. It's the backstory, if you will, to the food they're putting up. I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the lands and airwaves where this conversation takes place. Land which was never ceded. Land where communities came together to eat seasonally, locally, and without exhausting resources. I pay my respects to their elders past, present, and rising. Today I'm talking to Mariana Chedid at Brûlée Pâtisserie in Port Melbourne. Mariana is an exquisite pâtissière. She also wants to change the world for the better, starting with the people she meets on her life journey, as well as those she works with and who come into Brûlée. Mariana discovered a love for cooking by accident when she was working in hospitality while studying architectural technology. Around the same time she decided to pursue cooking, she was also reading Julia Child's book My Love of France and decided to follow in her footsteps and learn cooking at Le Cordon Bleu in Paris. After internships at both the prestigious Parisian institution La Tour d'Argent and iconic Pâtisserie Gâteau Tout Mieux, Mariana brought her love for cooking back to Melbourne. Brûlée Pâtisserie is like a little portal into France in its decor, music, and the delicious croissants and French cakes. And the aroma as you enter the door is enough to transport you. And as if Mariana wasn't already quite the Wonder Woman, she recently teamed up with podcaster JP to create Through the Eyes of a Chef, a YouTube channel and Instagram account which sees the pair embark on a mission to explore new tastes, textures, and aromas, and then they share their discoveries with the viewer. Despite JP's vision impairment, he exudes a passion for exploration, adventure, and a deep appreciation for life's fine aspects. This was such an inspiring conversation, and I came away feeling all the better for having met Mariana. How are you? Jo, nice to meet you.
Thank you for reaching out.
Of course, yeah, thank you. Let's just start with your story, given that, you know, for you storytelling is really important and everything starts with passing, as you said, passing on things on through the generations. So you come from Lebanon.
Yes, I do. I was born and raised in Lebanon, and then we moved here for a better future. And I came here as a student, so we moved to Sydney first. And I studied architectural technology, and started working in hospitality only because as a student you can't really get a job, you know, because they worry about your visa and that. And so I know basically everything front of house, but I've never thought I'll ever cook.
Yes.
You know, and then until one day I cooked by mistake and I fell in love. I was 27 then.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
But what part did food play growing up?
Well, food. I'm a big food eater. Always tend to be overweight because I love food. Like, I just love it so much. So, and then coming from a Lebanese family, it's all about food. Whatever we do, it's always around the table of food. Like, whether it's a funeral, it's a wedding, it's a baptism, whatever that is, it's just food. So, yeah, I was lucky that both grandmas and my mom and my aunties, everybody's a great cook at home.
Yeah.
But I never wanted to grow up to be a traditional Middle Eastern woman that only knows how to cook.
Yes.
That's why maybe I was resenting the idea of cooking.
Yeah. So you cooked that first meal. What was that first meal that you cooked that made you fall in love with it?
It was a full set. I was working at a hospital cafe in Werribee, and the chef didn't show up, so I had to cook everything from eggs and bacon and fried rice, and I realized I know how to cook just by sitting with the chefs and, you know, discussing menus, but never had. So that was it. It was a big menu that I had to put on.
And for how many people?
It was, I don't know, maybe 100. You know.
But that's impressive because I like cooking, and then you know you can watch other people cook, but to put everything up at the right time.
I never knew I could. That's why I'm like, maybe I can do this.
Yeah.
You know? And the joy that came out of it that day, it was phenomenal. You know?
Okay, so that happened, and
then I decided
I'm
like, but at the same time I was reading the book of Julia Child. It's called My Love of France. You know, and I was I was taken by it at that time. And then her inspiration for me was because she was older.
Yeah.
You know, she started her at 40 even, her career. And I thought, you know, it's never too late, because you always think it's already too late for you to start new. And then that's when I got the guts to go and study cookery.
In Paris?
Yes. So I was lucky enough that my stepdad funded my school fees and everything. And yeah, that was it. Went to the same school she went to. So I was copying her footsteps, basically.
Yeah. And did you do that cooking at home, keeping a diary kind of thing as well,
No,
the way
no,
she did?
no, not at all. So I went to France and I've applied. I was lucky to get in. But I worked so hard then, because, you know, when you're mature, you see life differently when you go to study. Plus, I wanted to make my stepfather proud, you know, so I worked so hard there.
Was that general cookery?
I did both. I did cuisine and pâtisserie, so I did the Grand Diplôme, and yeah.
And you speak French?
Yes, I do, because in Lebanon we all do speak French. It's given in Lebanon that you speak 3 languages.
Amazing.
But that helped too, you know. But
I bet.
Yeah.
I spoke to a young pastry chef who's got the Pâtisserie Boulangerie in Abbotsford.
Yeah.
And he went over right after high school. His big dream also was to go to Paris, to the Cordon Bleu.
Yeah.
And but he didn't speak French. That was a big challenge, and especially the numbers. He said he took the French numbers where he had to really learn things, and his fellow students would teach him in the flour of the the different writing it in the flour on the bench. But I think it would definitely help knowing French.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Some things aren't really easily translatable. I think it's better if you're in the language.
But at the school, it's more done for international students there, so you always have a translator in class, which was great.
Yeah.
Like even one of my customers here was a translator at the same school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it helps, definitely it helps. Even working in France, it helps a lot when you know the language.
So I saw then you worked at the Tour d'Argent.
Yes, I did.
I think I actually, when I read that, I was like, oh.
I did. It was an amazing experience. I only went there because it was my stepdad's favorite restaurant.
Oh.
And every time he's in Paris, he'll make sure he goes and dines there. So he goes to me, you have to work hard to get, because it's upon your marks that you get the preference to choose where you want to go for your internship. So yeah, I was pretty lucky to be accepted there.
Yeah. So how long were you there?
Around 5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was it like? 'Cause, you know, I speak to lots of chefs who talk about the brigade and kitchens and so on, and I wonder what's it like in France now?
In France, it's hard because in France there's a lot of chefs, right? Luckily, I wasn't depending. It was an internship, so I worked there for free. But if I was to work as a chef in Paris, you can't survive. It's very hard.
Yeah.
First of all, the pay is very low, and then Paris itself is very expensive.
Yeah.
So I used to work with people that used to live in a studio that's like 15 square meter, which is really just to get the experience. And over there's so many chefs that they can put any rule they want for you just to get the experience.
Yes.
You know, unless you really make it and become an executive chef or a sous chef there. But how it works, it was phenomenal. Like in the kitchen, there was, I don't know, maybe 60 of us, you know, like, and you sit, I remember the first month, a whole month, I was only on the lobster section. When there's a lobster order, I get it fresh, crack it, cook it, and that was my job. You know, so it's pretty intense, but at the same time, there's a lot of discipline, which is in respect.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I didn't find here. Like, it's really an institution. Like, it's like being in the army. It's not like just a job where you can call in sick. No, they're like warriors there in the kitchen. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's like that.
And I think front of house as well
Yes,
has a similar standing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's like they take so much pride of what they do, you know, which is phenomenal.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me a bit more about the Tour d'Argent, because I've looked longingly at the website and the menu.
It's a very old institution,
Yes.
right? They have the biggest wine cellar in all of Europe, and it's underground. And then the shops, they're like the restaurants is at level 5, which is the pastry kitchen, and level 6. And then on the ground floor, they've got where they receive all the goods, and then there's someone down there that's only receiving and sorting out, all the produce that come, because they have their own farmers. Even the duck there, like, they come numbered, right? They buy them from the same farmer.
Wow.
And then even now when you go, and then they'll give you a certificate of the duck number, that this is number, 5,642 served at Râteau d'Argent.
Yeah.
So every duck so you go in, you go up, and then it's just prep. They work all day, all night, just for a couple of hours service for lunch and a couple of hours service for...
And how many guests?
It fits probably not more than 60 or 70. Yeah.
Is it all degustation, or can you have a la
No,
carte?
they have a la carte.
Oh, they have a la carte.
Yeah, and then the duck there, they still cook it in a way where we prepare it, but it goes out to the customer. They carve it in front of them, and then they press it to get all the blood out, and then they make the sauce in front of them.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's quite mesmerizing. I haven't dined there yet as a customer, but my family has, and
yeah. Wow. So that's really they've been doing provenance then for a long time.
Yeah, it's an institution, Tour d'Argent. It's not something like, it's been there for a long time, and now somebody told me that they need to add a rooftop on top for the building, and they have to move all the wine out because they have to make sure the structure of the building can handle it, because it's a very old building.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it really is a tower then. I've seen like the what it looks like, but I hadn't sort of imagined.
Yeah,
the
so
layers.
it's the last 2 floors. There's a little bit of private dining, like when you have important people come in, but then upstairs is where everybody dines. Yeah.
That's incredible. And were you somewhere else there as well?
I went and worked in a pastry shop.
Okay.
Yeah, for Jean-François Piège, who was the master chef celebrity there.
Yeah.
And that was good.
Whereabouts is that? Which album?
It's, I think it was in the 14th, from memory. It was called Gâteau Tout Mieux, and it was only cakes, but cakes where you go in, it's like a jewelry shop. It's not like a cake shop. There's no seating. You just walk in, and then everything's displayed like a jewelry fridge. Yeah.
That's what I love. I do love that about France. We're certainly seeing, more of that here now, snippets of it, but it's just, there is something about it. I haven't been to Paris since 2012, and I'm going next year, and I can't wait.
I'm not a big fan. Living in Paris is very different than going as a tourist.
So I lived in the south of France for a year, so I probably prefer that more. But so when I say Paris, I mean France.
Yeah,
no. But there is something about, especially for a New Zealand, when I first went to France for the year, it was 1993, and I was an English assistant, and I lived in the south near Avignon, and then I took the train up to Paris in the October holidays. Yeah. And I think, I was 22, and I just remember walking around and just being, especially having studied French, and finally being in France. It's amazing.
It is. Like, I've been to France, to Paris. France is different than Paris.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
And I've been to Paris a few times as a tourist, and it was a great experience, right? But living there, it's tough.
I bet.
Yeah. It's tough because it's not very safe. You don't feel all this as a tourist. You feel them only when you live there.
Yeah.
It's not very safe.
When were you there?
2014, 15.
Yeah.
And then, like, people steal. Like you can't sit now and have your bag on the table. There's no way, even inside a restaurant. And then I remember somebody was trying to steal something from a girl late night from our school, and he pushed her under the train, just to grab her bag. Like, it was,
Wow.
Yeah. And then they're very lazy when it comes to logistics, Like, to open a bank account, it took me maybe a month just to open a bank account.
Yes.
They need a lot of paperwork, and then you have to book an appointment. It was just not as easy as here.
No, I understand. It was even like that when I was there. I had to go back and forward to Marseille, to the Bureau d'Étranger, just to get a long staying visa, even though I'd applied for it from New Zealand, and it was set up through the government, this assistantship program. And every month I would go, and every month they would say, "Oh no, you just need this other thing." At one point I burst into tears, and the man just said to me, "It's not going to help you."
I know.
Wow. Yeah, that's right. It always is so romantic, and the idea of it, and certainly travelling and all these Instagram photos we're seeing of people in France at the moment. But yeah.
No, tourism is phenomenal, but to live there, it's quite hard.
Yeah.
But that's only in Paris.
That's right.
You know, because when you travel outside, it's just a beautiful country, and the people are different, and there's not so many tourists, and then, you know.
Although I messaged a friend who lives in Nice yesterday, and she was saying her daughter was wondering what it's like to live in New Zealand, because it seems like life's much simpler there than France.
Yeah.
She was saying the climate there has really changed, and and I think that's something. I think probably living in New Zealand is simpler than living. I mean, New Zealand, for all its 5 million people, still has its challenges, but yeah.
But I think we're lucky to live here.
I agree.
You know, and we have a lot of potentials.
Yeah.
We have a lot of potential. It's a whole continent that it's not been consumed.
Yeah.
You know, we have a lot of resources. We have a lot of. I keep saying we have everything except techniques. We only need good techniques.
Yes.
You know, we already make the best wine. Dairy is on the way. You know, we can produce the best the world has to offer in this country.
So by techniques, do you mean like artisanal things for particular products, or do you mean
everything? Like, let's say, because there's a lot of wineries here that they've taken all the techniques. They do their own, like Chablis in France, and all these, you know, same methods, and it's coming out so beautifully here. Even with the butter, even with the jams, even with the fruits, you know, we have even the flour. We've got one of the best flours in the world. You know? And it's still, our environment is clean. It's and even our livestock. Where in the world you drive and you see lamb on the street, like in the farms, and even in New Zealand too.
Yeah,
you know?
That's right.
So we really need to take advantage of that, and it will come. It will come.
Yes.
I'm sure it will come.
And what do you think? Because I've been thinking lately about, you know, often in places like New Zealand and Australia, when people start out doing something, you know, like say for example, I spoke to the guy at Maker and Mungo, and we're talking about cheeses.
Yeah.
The cheese makers here might feel like they have to make all the kinds of cheese, whereas in Europe, you're known for one kind of cheese, and you do that exceptionally.
Yes.
But here there's that pressure. It's like, well, what if people don't like that cheese? Or, you know, like I need to diversify.
But that comes with education.
Yeah.
You know, now Australians are traveling, you know, and they're actually well traveled. Some people, even Lebanese, I know that they've migrated here, let's say 50 years ago, and never went back even to Lebanon, let alone to Europe. But now you see a lot of people are traveling more, and then they'll appreciate more. And then that migration that's happening, we will get there. We will get there. Where you are known, let's say, for making, I don't know, let's say camembert, and then just make that. You will have enough confidence for you to just do one thing and be good at.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I was thinking of Garth Bushton at Tarts and On. He's just doing tarts, and I think that was a brave move, but it totally works.
Yeah.
And I think we're probably at a place, as you say now, where more people understand. That's great.
Yeah.
He does tarts.
I still don't have the guts for that. You know, when I first opened, I know, but I'll tell you how it started. When I first opened, I just wanted to do French.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it.
Yeah.
But then I started seeing, like on weekends, you would come with your friend, you're eating the croissant, your friend's sitting there because he wants eggs and bacon. Yeah. So I had to introduce all that in, which is, again, that's different, but it happened to me. I was too stubborn at first that I just wanted French, you know, nothing else. But people are getting it now a bit more.
That's right.
We'll get there.
So what is it about pastry that you love? Why pastry, and why not have, like, open a restaurant, for example?
Okay. I was always looking for a lifestyle, which I still don't have any of it. So I've always thought, first of all, if I was, in cooking, there's your soul in the food. There's no way that if I give you a recipe and you give me a recipe, we can't do it the same way, no matter what. You might add a bit of extra salt, I might add a little bit extra dressing or whatever. But in pastry, it's chemistry.
Yes.
So I've created those recipes, and then anybody can duplicate, because I know that it's going to come out the same way. Does that make sense?
Yes. But with things like croissants, isn't it certain technique as well?
It is, but then you train. I've put a lot of time in training my staff, and but at the same time, we still don't get it right every time, you know, because it's chemistry, as I said. So sometimes the humidity might change, and like one time last fortnight, all our croissants will come out cracked from the top, you know. They'll proof beautifully, but we couldn't figure out, and then it turns out it's the humidity. So we had to lower the humidity when proofing, because the dough is just becoming too wet when we proof it. So it works. You learn those tricks, and but yeah, at the same time it's weighing. That's what makes me feel safer in opening a patisserie. That you have to weigh a kilo of sugar, a kilo of flour. You know, it's not just whatever you taste. No. Every taste bud is different. Yeah.
It's interesting. So I think that's right. So you can give them the recipe and they can watch your technique, but then there's all those other things, as you say, you have to be aware of, humidity, and that must come from being really in tune with the ingredients.
Yes, because it's a live product. You know, once you boost that yeast, it's live. You can't control it anymore. But then that's why I'm here. You know, to see how it feels, how it tastes. And then if I could get somebody at least just to weigh me the stuff, then I can do the rest, which is easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was part of it. Secondly, I would love to open a restaurant, but I don't want to work nighttime.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I choose, even now it's too much happening, but like, maybe summertime we will, because a lot of customers have been asking.
Yeah.
But then I'm really picky with my cooking, because anything that's here, if it's not extremely yummy, I wouldn't serve it.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I opened the shop. I opened the shop because I wanted to go somewhere where I feel, cause you work, you see a lot of things happening in restaurants. So I wanted a place where I can go and just eat whatever I want, knowing that it's clean, good produce, you know. So that was the whole point of it. And then if I thought to myself, if customers come in, they're welcome.
Yeah.
You know, and now, thank God, it's doing so good.
So you opened in 2020?
Yeah, during COVID. It was a mistake. It was a mistake that it started, not that I've done it.
No.
You know, because I was at home in 2020 and started just to keep busy like everybody else at home. You know, started baking at home and doing all that. I love the sound of that.
I know, it sounds incredible. This is the best croissant I've ever eaten.
Really?
It's so
that's good.
Great.
Yeah.
Everything about it is perfection. And it's not, you know, it's not overly buttery. Sometimes I have croissant and they make me feel a bit queasy because it's too much, but this is perfection.
Yeah. And I like it to be wet. You know, a lot of customers come in and say, you know, it's undercooked, but I say it's not undercooked. You know, this is how a croissant should be. It should be a little bit, not soggy, but like chewy from the inside. It's not just a dry pastry, you know?
Exactly right.
Yeah. Anyway, so I started making pastries at home, and then one day I made croissants and my family went crazy over it. And then the second day I made them, so they started asking me to make every day croissants. So every day I'll do 1 kilo of flour, which is nothing, like, and I'll proof it with a cup of hot water, you know, in the thing. But I've learned a lot during that process too, because our flour here is different from France. From France, you can just, you know, they have the T55, T45. It's a different culture of flour.
Butter would be different too.
Yes. So what happened was I started making it here with lurpak, just at home. And then my friend said to me, you should start selling these. You know, so I went to the pantry in Brighton and I dropped a box, put my number on the box, and I said, if they like it, whoever the owner is, let them call me. So they ring me the second day. He goes, what's your story? I said, no story. I just started doing this and I think they're fantastic. He goes, this is the best I've tasted. Start. I said, but I need time. Like, I don't have anything yet. He goes, do it. So I rang the council and we started at the garage. And then from him, we started making him, I don't know, maybe 100 croissants a day to 700 a day. Because from him, I got a lot of customers as a wholesale. And then, 3 months later, I moved here. But I wasn't planning to open a cafe yet. I thought we'll start wholesale and then we'll we'll see how we go. Because COVID, it was very, nobody was on the streets and all that.
Yeah, well, and it was such an uncertain, who would have known in 2020 it would last as long either.
And then, customers started smelling. You see that smell that you walked in outside, and they'll walk in, even though we had black on all of the glass, and nobody could see what's happening inside. But I think this corner here was dead for a while, that everybody was excited of what's happening. And then, we started selling croissants out on the street.
Yeah.
And then slowly, I've built this whole place with my own hands, except for painting.
It feels French. You've got, it's just beautiful.
Yeah. Everything I did with my own hands, except for painting, because I couldn't. But other than that, you'll see a lot of mistakes. Like if you focus now, you'll see it's very dodgy work. But I was learning that too, so now...
it's just lovely. Yeah. You've really captured this essence of...
It was like, when you're young and you play with the Barbie house.
Yeah.
That was the feel when I opened here.
Oh, amazing.
I just wanted... It was like a toy for me. It wasn't a business.
Yeah.
And then now I'm learning how to make it a business, but at the same time, it's still a toy for me.
Yeah.
I love it. I just want my friends to come, we sit down, we eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really it.
So what do you tell me about your cakes?
So cakes we do...
They look like jewels.
Yeah, so we do mainly authentic French, like the millefeuille, the eclair, the fraisier, the opera, crème brûlée for sure. What else? The Black Forest, but French way. Pavlova, we had to put it in.
Which is originally from New Zealand, not Australia.
No, it is New Zealand.
Although actually probably originally from France, the meringue.
The meringue, but then people adapt to things. And then you'll be surprised, a lot of ideas come at the same time from the same people all over the world. It's not like I could think of something now, and then if I look it up, I know somebody else has thought about it.
Yeah.
So who knows? Came from France or New Zealand. Let's keep it New Zealand.
New Zealand, that's right.
It's very yummy regardless. So and then we do some sandwiches, some salads, some quiches, all made from the croissant dough. Everything we make here, that's pastry, because it gives it that buttery.
Wow.
Yeah. And when we first started, I was importing the butter from France, but I wasn't happy for one reason, because butter shouldn't last, especially if it's cultured butter, it shouldn't last more than a month. But then it comes in and then they say it lasts for 6 months after defrosting, And then I thought to myself, there must be a way that we have the best dairy here, So I started looking at changing it. So we started doing the butter. We'll buy Australian butter and then make it into sheets, sort of make it like a butter sheets that is good for folding croissants. But then I went to Sydney and met with Pepe Saya. Yeah, and then that's the only butter I use now. I'm in love with that butter, and he does sheets and he sends them to me on a Wednesday. So if it goes after 2 weeks, it starts smelling, which I love. Cultured, fresh, It comes in a week, it's gone. We reorder.
Yeah.
And then that what makes it.
Yeah.
It's not me, it's the butter. And croissant, it's all in the butter, nothing else. If you've got a good butter, that's it.
Yeah. Now laminating. What's the secret to that? Like, how many times should you be folded?
Well, it depends. Everybody does it differently, but usually it's 3 single folds, right? But then the butter has to be dry butter, right? So so the whole thing is that you don't want the butter to melt inside the dough while you're doing it, or else it becomes a brioche. That's the only difference. So when you do dry butter, so when you're working with it, it won't melt. It has less fat in it than a normal butter. And then when you put it in the proofer, let's say a normal butter would melt at 25 degrees. A dry butter won't melt until it reaches 30. So when you're proofing it at 28, it's still, the yeast will get activated, but the butter won't melt. And then that's the only secret. And then when you bake it, and this is phenomenal, it's like, why does it have all these layers? Because the butter melts at heat, and then the hydration of the butter melting, it pushes up the dough. So that's how even puff pastry, it rises up. It's because the butter held it shaped enough for it to go into the oven, and then once it hits that 180 degrees, it just melts and it starts pushing the dough. Yeah. The evaporation of the butter goes up, the steam.
It's chemistry, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's good chemistry.
Good chemistry.
It's amazing chemistry.
Yeah.
So that's why people use dry butter. They don't use normal butter. Because normal butter, it's your hand temperature will melt it if you hold it. With dry butter, it will have a bit of heat resistance.
So great. Your diplomas.
Yeah. Two of them. I'm so proud and so lucky. The experience at school was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was like being at the army. The discipline and the respect that you find in France for goods.
Yeah.
They teach you how to use the carrot, everything in the carrot, because it's even when you're cooking a chicken, there's the soul that was killed for you to enjoy that. Like the chicken was an actual soul.
Yes.
So you have to cook it with respect and not burn it and end up in the bin.
Yeah.
So that's they teach you all that, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's not only a piece of chicken that comes into the kitchen and you're cooking. No, I always in my back of my hand there was a chicken and a farmer and all the hard work.
That's right.
Imagine, and then it ends up until the waiter puts it on your plate, because he might be rude and ruin the whole process of, it's a huge process for you to eat a croissant. Think about the cow, about the farmers, about the transportation that. For me, delivering the butter, delivering the flour, and us making it, and then it comes down to a rude waiter that will come in and ruin everything for you. And that's what I try and teach them, is to respect the whole process.
Yes.
And even you could have the best customer service, but the worst chef in there, and then he will ruin all that hospitality experience for you.
Yes.
So it's a circle of life.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And I often bring it up in these chats about reading this book, like Water for Chocolate, and it's about this chef. Whenever she cooks, her emotions go into the food, and then the people that eat that. And I think it's exactly what you're saying. I think it goes before her as well, before the chef.
Absolutely.
To how things were grown.
And this is how we can, if everybody does in anything you do in life, if we respect this whole process, we live in a much better world.
Yeah.
We don't need to work for global warming. We don't need to. If we respect what's happening, we can save the earth.
Yes.
On the longer term.
That's so fascinating, because I just listened to a podcast the other day with Mark Ruffalo, two actors, Kevin Bacon and Mark Ruffalo, and they were saying that Mark Ruffalo works with some community and environmental group.
Yeah.
And the woman he works with was saying exactly that. She said we can get to zero carbon emissions and all of that, but until you treat the root values, and that's amazing. So
and it's education. It's education. Like, I was blown away when I went to Japan. Right, my last trip, it was only earlier this year, and I really came back with a different mindset. Because you see them how they live in such a harmony, even though it's one of the most populated city in the world.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, you don't feel that dense of people, because everybody does everything with respect, And then this is what I think. If we take the Japanese as an example, how to respect this planet Earth, I think we'll be fine.
How can we get people to do that?
It's education, unfortunately, and then we have to start. If I start here, I have a great team here that it took me a while for them to understand my culture of what I see in life. Like we have a lot of disabled or young people that come for the experience here, and then at the end of the day, they don't have to put up with it, even though it's my choice, right, to have those people, give them a chance in life. But they all understand that they're doing this for the benefit of the society. So they take them in and then they train them nice. So everybody here knows that it's not only about the business. It's about how can we change the world in a well, I'd like to think that really, that at least I'm making a difference. And if I can pass it on, imagine how many people will come and work here or they'll come and eat here. Like, and then they see that we can still live in a happy place. Everybody comes here and thank us for the customer service or for the food. When I look at them, I said, this is how it should be. Like, you know, it's not that you should go and expect them to be rude. Like, normal is to have a good... What's hospitality? Is when somebody walks in and you'll be hospitable with them.
Yeah.
But, so everybody's happy here. I can guarantee you this. And I make sure that their life beyond this door, that I make sure they're fine. Because if I can make a difference on every single one of my employees or my co-workers, they'll make a difference somewhere else.
That's right.
You know, and
I love that.
This is how I think I'm changing my own world. At least the people that I get to meet on this life journey.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I love to do. Not only forget the food, forget that, you know. And even every customer that comes in, you can change somebody's day just by, you know. And then they they defend you, even if you do a mistake with the croissant. That's okay, you know, because you've been so nice to them for such a long time. They'll defend you, even if they hear somebody else complaining about you. They'll be like, hang on, you know, I'm sure they can do better. And they'll come and they'll tell us. And this is what I love here. I'm creating my own community for a better world, put it this way. And I hope I can reach it. Maybe I'm just still dreaming. But at least I'm making a difference in 5 people's lives. I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Conversation with the Chef with Mariana Chedid at Brûlée Pâtisserie in Port Melbourne. You can check out all the goodness on Instagram at BRULEEAU, as well as at Through the Eyes of a Chef, which is at through.theeyes.ofachef. If you liked what you heard and you want to hear more stories from other chefs, I'm on Instagram at Conversation with a Chef. You can read the chat and become a subscriber at www.conversationwithachef.com, which is good for me because I know you're there, and it's good for you because I think you get notified when a new conversation comes up. I would also absolutely love it if you told a friend about my chats, and you can follow me on Apple and Spotify podcasts, and more recently on Audible and Amazon podcasts as well. Once again, thanks so much for listening. Have a great day and bon appétit.